So Greg Popovich is expected to sign an extension with the Spurs. Now, even with that, they've said that they're fine with him viewing his coaching career on a year-by-year basis. But even so, it seems like he's here for at least one more year, so that's step one on the Spurs maintaining their pretty goodness. And while they did lose to the Nuggets in Game 7, they didn't get destroyed. A couple things go their way and they maybe win that series. So this is a team that has room for something. DeRozan and Aldridge, I'm expecting them to just keep on doing what they're doing, pretty much. I don't think most of this video is going to be about them, really. I don't expect any massive jump from DeRozan to 29 years old. I don't expect some massive decline by LaMarcus Aldridge either, so those two can keep on keeping on. I think the first thing to talk about is the return of Dejounte Murray next season. I think Dejounte was in line to make a pretty big jump this season. Not saying that he would be in an all-star conversation, and probably not even that close, but I mean, his second season he averaged 8 points, 6 boards, and 3 assists, and I think this year he would have been a little more aggressive in pick and rolls. He would have played more minutes. I mean, he only played 21 minutes a game last season, and I think we could have seen him averaging something like, we'll say 13, 14 points, 7 rebounds, and maybe a solid 4 assists a game or so, right? And it does seem like that's Dejounte's path to growth in the league, is just getting a little better on offense every season, and then on defense, the guy is already amazing. I mean, what did he get, an all-defense appearance in his second year in the league? So there's a chance that Dejounte could end up being a pretty special player. And we hope that he can just be that next season for them. And while I don't expect him to be the primary ball handler, you got to assume that's still DeRozan. And, I mean, Patty Mills is going to get the ball, and Derrick White proved that he can have the ball a bit this year. Dejounte is going to have a place in the offense. So that's number one. I mean, I do think he was, weirdly enough, you could have argued that he was the most exciting thing going into this season. I know they made the DeRozan trade. I know they got Poeltl, who seems like he can be the next, like, Tiago splitter, just a capable, consistent big for them. But, I mean, Dejounte was really awesome last year. Well, to be fair, as awesome as you can be while you average 8 points a game and 3 assists, but you saw all the signs, so that's step one, getting Dejounte Murray back. I guess now we can look at Derrick White a little bit more. This seems to be another one of those dudes the Spurs just find. I mean, his creating skills are really something. English, I don't know. The dude can go off the dribble. I mean, besides that one incredible game he had against the Nuggets, he was still pretty decent for that entire series. Well, at least besides the Game 7 when he, what did he do? He went like 0 for 7, I believe it was. So, I mean, he's not perfect, but he showed signs that he can have offense run through him and he can put up some points. Now, I guess there's questions about his jumper, but he seems like a smart player who doesn't do anything too stupid when he is driving, so that's all nice stuff. Now, I guess there's a question between DeRozan, Derrick White, Dejounte. Do they have enough dudes who can make threes and just space the floor out? But those guys are all good players and they're all smart, so that combined with Popovich, of course, you have to assume you figure it out. You do still need some shooting, but luckily they have some shooting. I guess we can look at Lonnie Walker now. He didn't play too much this year, and by that I mean he basically didn't play at all. I mean, he seems like an athlete, as in a very good athlete who you hope if he cleans up his vision and reading of defenses and ball handling and all that, that he could be a real player that you can run offense through. So, yeah. Now, one thing that's interesting is if you look at Dejounte and Derrick White, both of them didn't play much at all in their rookie seasons. And then they played a lot in their second years, and they were good right away for the Spurs, right? So maybe that's the same thing with Lonnie, where they're just doing the Spurs thing, which is, okay, we recognize that if we play you right now, you're going to suck. But if we wait a year and we mold you, then you'll be fine. So I guess we can expect Lonnie to really play. Bryn Forbes, he can help him out right now as he did this whole season as a shooter. I guess I can spend a little bit of time on Jakob Poeltl. So I made the Thiago Splitter comparison. Maybe not the best comparison now that I think about it again. Maybe Robin Lopez is a better one. Good, fundamentally sound big who can help you out on defense. Is not going to dominate the boards, but will hopefully just not kill you there. A nice little thing, which does not matter at all, but occasionally I look at, is Basketball Reference's win shares per 48 minutes. According to that stat, Jakob Poeltl is a very above average NBA player. Again, doesn't really mean anything, but it might mean a little bit, who knows. Anyway, I expect him to be a consistent 20-plus minute a game big for the Spurs for the next 12 seasons. If you look at their salary situation, they're like $12 million away from the cap. It's going to be 109, I believe. And they got to potentially re-sign Rudy Gay. Maybe they keep him, maybe they don't. So, there's nothing too crazy to talk about with their potential free agent stuff this offseason, in my opinion. But an interesting thing to discuss is after next season, DeRozan has a player option of $27 million. I would think he will decline that, but I also don't really know. I think he believes that he's worth more than that. I don't think he's worth more than that, but usually in a situation like that, the player is going to win. And also, LaMarcus Aldridge has a non-guaranteed contract for 2021, the same year as DeRozan's player option. So there's a chance they're both back. There's a chance neither of them are back. There's a chance only one of them is back. It's not like Aldridge is declining. I mean, he averaged 21 a game this year. Still gives you that spacing and the low post option, the pick and pops. And against the Nuggets, I thought he was fine. Wasn't particularly great, but he was LaMarcus Aldridge, I guess. And then as far as draft picks are concerned, the Spurs are looking good. They have all of their first-round picks until 2025, and they have the Raptors pick this season. They have all of their seconds, besides one's going to the Jazz in 2022. So any type of move they want to make, besides a blockbuster, I have to guess, they can do. So we can expect them to just make savvy moves, which is what the Spurs have always done. I don't think they're going to kill themselves at their cap. I mean, after next season, they're at $71 million, and they're going to have to make they're going to have to re-sign some dudes between Poeltl and Forbes and Dejounte. That would be the big one. So yeah, I think the Spurs are doing a pretty good job of being good right now with DeRozan and Aldridge and Patty Mills and of course Pop. And we hope that just some of these young dudes can get better. And hey, maybe, just maybe, we're looking up in 2 years and the Spurs are thought of as one of the 4 best teams in the West. Maybe me being a little optimistic, but between the potential of Kevin Durant leaving and everything I said about these young dudes between Lonnie and Poeltl and Dejounte and Derrick White, I don't think it's ridiculous.